Today we will learn about bar graph. You must have seen the bar graph many times. Like here, this represents India's literacy rate in percentage. Looking at this, we can compare the literacy rate of given years. The elevations of various mountain peaks of the world are shown in this bar graph, so that we can compare them. Similarly, the result of the State Assembly election of State A is shown in this bar graph. Looking at this, we can compare the seats won by different parties. Let's understand this bar graph. In this bar graph, there is a horizontal line which we call the x-axis and the vertical line that we call the y-axis. Here, party is on the x-axis and the number of seats is on the y-axis. Simultaneously, the scale is also shown here, which tells us that 1 unit on the y-axis means 10 seats. The vertical lines of uniform width are drawn at equal distances. These are called bars. All the bars in the bar graph are of equal width and have the same distance. In the bar graph, the data is represented as the length of the bar. Thus, the graphical method of representing the data, in which data is represented by horizontal or vertical bars of equal width at the same distance, is called bar graph. Let us now know how to read a bar graph. Here we see that the length of bar made for party Q represents 56 seats. In this way, we can say that in State Assembly elections, party Q won 56 seats. Similarly, can you tell how many seats the party R has won? Think. Absolutely right. For the length of bar made for party R, we know that party R has won a total 54 seats. The comparison of data becomes easy with the help of bar graph, as the maximum length bar has been drawn for party P. Here we can say that party P has won the most seats. Can you tell how many more seats did party Q win than party S? Think. Absolutely right. We see that party Q has won 56 seats while party S has won 44 seats. Therefore, party Q has won 56 minus 44 is equal to 12 seats more than party S. Here we have shown a vertical bar graph. We can also represent it horizontally, wherein we show the parties on the y-axis and the number of seats on the x-axis. We call this bar graph the horizontal bar graph. Now, let us know how to draw a bar graph with the help of an example. The table shown here shows the lengths of some of the major rivers in India. Let's represent these data as a bar graph. Draw two mutually perpendicular lines on the paper. The horizontal line is the x-axis and the vertical line is the y-axis. Now we will show the names of the rivers on the x-axis and the length of the river on the y-axis. Now we will choose a convenient scale. Can you tell which convenient scale shall be taken to show the length of the river? Think. Let me tell you, the longest length here is 2900 kilometers and the shortest length is 800 kilometers. In order to represent both correctly, we can take a convenient scale in this way. We can take 1 unit is equal to 500 kilometers. The number will show numbers on the y-axis according to the scale. Now we will draw the bar according to the length of each river. For example, here we have drawn a bar denoting the length of Narmada River at 1300 kilometers. Similarly, we will represent the lengths of all rivers as bars. Remember that the bars should have the same width and should be equally spaced. So today we have learned the bar graph. In the next video, we will see some examples of these. Today we will see some examples related to bar graph. In a school, measurements of children's shoes were taken for the annual ceremony. These are as follows. Represent the given information in a bar graph. Let us assume 1 unit is equal to 20 students and draw a bar graph based on the information with a given scale. On the paper, draw the horizontal line x-axis and the vertical line y-axis. We will show the shoe measurement on the x-axis. Similarly, we will show the number of students on the y-axis by taking scale as 1 unit is equal to 20 students. Since the maximum value is 108, we will end the number of students on the y-axis at 120. Now, we will draw the bar in vertical for each measurement of shoes whose length represents the number of students. In this way, we will draw the bars for all measurements of shoes. Thus, we have drawn the bar graph for the given information. Next example, the bar graph shown depicts India's performance in the Asian Games. Read the bar graph and answer the following questions. In which year India received maximum medals? The longest bar in the bar graph has been drawn for 2018. Since the number of medals is denoted by length of the bar, we can say that India received the most medals in the year 2018. How many medals did India receive in 2010? From the length of the bar drawn for the year 2010, we know that in 2010, India got total of 65 medals. How many more medals India got in 2006 as compared to 2018? In 2006, India got 53 medals and in 2018, it got 69 medals. There is a difference of 69 minus 53 is equal to 16 medals in the number of medals received in the both years. Calculate the decline in the number of medals from the year 2010 to 2014. India received 65 medals in 2010, while in 2014, 57 medals were received. In this way, from the year 2010 to 2014, the number of medals has fallen from 65 minus 57 is equal to 8 medals. Next example. In 2017, a survey was conducted in India to know the number of newspaper readers. The details of some highly read newspapers are shown in the bar graph. Read this number and find out the answer to the following questions by yourself. Which newspaper has the most readers? How many people read the Hindustan newspapers? How many people read the Lokmat newspaper? What is the difference between the number of readers of Dainik Jagran and Lokmat? So today we have seen some examples related to bar graph. In the next video, we will see some mistakes related to them.